Okay, so welcome back, everybody. We have amazing MA today with Elephant Money. So most of you will listen or watch this one probably after the AMA because it's Sunday. It's 5:30 p.m. Oh, sorry, 6 p.m. UK time. So most people like spending time with the family. So in the next couple of days, feel free to watch, and you can watch in 1.5 speed. Will be easier and faster for you. So Elephant Money, we have SK Crypto K. A long time ago, I didn't speak with you. Maybe before I go to India, what was like months and months and months ago. We did 4 AMAs, three or four AMAs, I know, last year. And when everything was hot and spicy, market was down, but Elephant Money was up. And then market went up, Elephant Money went sideways and Leo down. So it went everything opposite. So, all right. So welcome back. Nice to have you here. I know a lot of people like myself, you're all invested in Elephant Money. And tell me, there are a lot of updates. What's the latest updates for the people to be aware? And what's the next step for all the ecosystem? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Mr. Crypto Phil, my good dude. I hope your travels have been safe. I know you're doing that charity work out there too, man. Beautiful stuff you've got going on. So thank you for your philanthropy. And yeah, man, the platform and for me being here. So a lot's gone on over here at Elephant Money, and we've entered 2024. Right. And we still have a really well-performing ecosystem at the end of the day. And as a refresher, remember that Elephant Money is a financial cooperative, or in layman's terms, it's a community bank where we would hope that people are parking their profits wherever they are making them across the DeFi landscape, especially with the bull run right around the corner, you know. So here we still have our 3 flagship things. So you got the elephant token itself, you've got the unlimited NFTs, and you've got the futures annuity style DApp, all of which has value capture, right? And so 100% of the NFTs minted, this buys elephant token and puts it into the treasury. 90% of the deposits going into futures buys elephant token and stuffs it into the treasury. And then the fee collection on the elephant token itself, whether they do buy with Bertha or the 10% on PancakeSwap, the fee collected goes to Bertha. So what is a Bertha? What is this treasury that I'm talking about? It's the very same thing we've seen before, but that is right here. And we know that the elephant token has 1,000 trillion tokens, right? Or 1 quadrillion. And half of that's already locked up in the graveyard. It's always going to be. It's a smart contract that builds up from 50% up to 51%. Then it rebalances and throws that 1% difference into the lock liquidity that you can see of $71 million right now. And if half of the token supply is locked up in the graveyard, where's that other half? Right? So that leaves 500 trillion on the table. And that's divvied up between the actual marketplace, which is the BNB and BUSD pairs of elephant token. That's the marketplace. That's where we're buying it. Then you've got the participants of the herd, right? All the human holders that have elephant token in their wallets. And then you have Bertha. So of that 500 trillion that's available, she's at 198.6 trillion of that. So what this is one ingredient to the supply shock. It takes 2 things to get to supply shock. So one of the updates that's happened, Phil, especially when you look at the chart, is that we've had a redistribution event since the end of September, right? And we've had one of the topmost whales at 4 trillion really kick off some panic selling right here, and people took profits, bought back in. Some more panic selling, people bought back in. And then this notable largest candle right here, we actually had the top most human whale gigadump there. No, actually, that's not even it. That one's right here. The top, actually, I'm all kind of messed up. I think it was right here. This big red candle, this was 8 trillion tokens that was sold. The 0.82% of the supply, you remember us going over that, Phil? They got out, and remarkably, not a lot of panic selling happened after that. Okay, so we're still just accumulating in the flats. And the main takeaway, though, Phil, even with all of this volatility that's happened recently, Bertha's token count has increased, right? So way here at the top, she was at 175 trillion tokens. And because of the fee collection and the capture that happens on the buys and the sells, right? She's gone from 175 trillion up to 198.6 trillion, right? So when we look at that supply shock formula, remember, Phil, that we've gone parabolic twice now. The first one was in the year 2022. The second one was in the year 2023. And now we're going for a three-peat. For a third supply shock, third year in a row, 2024 is coming, okay? And when you look at the ingredients, the two ingredients to supply shock back in 2022 right here, we did it back when Bertha was at 212 trillion tokens, right? And then collectively, between Bertha and the herd, we were able to drop the liquidity pairs below 100 trillion tokens, right? This is back in 2022. We had 92.5 trillion in the LPs. So we had a large Bertha, check, low LP count, check, right? Then we had the infamous forced distribution of that $330 million flash loan, right? And then for a year and a half, we went through 2023 with a Bertha that was kind of limping along there, right? We were nursing her back to health. I think that her token count at the beginning of 2023 was around 100 trillion, and we were able to build her up to 174 trillion tokens. Yet, the LPs, we dropped those significantly below 100 trillion. We got them down to 84. You see that? So we still did a second parabolic run when you look at it right here in the last half of 2023. And we did that with a smaller Bertha, so wah, wah, right there. And then still a low LP count. Check. Okay. So what does that mean for 2024, Phil? Let's take a look, man. Bertha is of size. She's not quite where she was in 2022 at 212 trillion, all-time high. But she's a good 7% away from that. But she is of size. She's a healthy size. But what's not at the moment are these liquidity pairs. We have to get this 131 trillion back below 100 trillion. And there's multiple ways that we can do that. But collectively, if people focus on the longevity and the 3-year history now of the token, you know, we just buy those out of the marketplace and they can sit in human holder hands or they can sit in Bertha's hands. But once we get this 131 down below 100 trillion again, everything's going to kick off on the flywheel for that supply shock for a third year in a row. So I just threw a lot at you for updates, Phil. Do you have any questions so far?
My brain is going to need to check this one tomorrow again, the video, probably a couple of more times, just the first few minutes. Yeah, it's okay. So let me go back. You changed the liquidity from BUSD to BNB, correct?
Both LP pairs have always existed, but the focus is the BNB pair, yes.
What's happening with the BUSD, you know, so just to be on the safe side, I guess, bank teller, I guess, is decide to go more and more towards the BNB, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so if you buy the elephant token from the website itself, with Buy with Bertha, it's all aimed at the BNB pair. The BUSD pair exists. It's locked. You can't touch it. So largely, it's just being ignored. All, I don't know, $32 million that are worth in that LP. So it's always going to be on-chain BUSD redeemable for $1 for several years to come. And when we go mega parabolic again, that's when maybe he'll spin up a third LP and you know, arbitrage some of the BNB pair into a new one with USDC or something. I don't know what the future holds in that regard, but yeah, everything is aimed at the BNB pair that you see on this slice of the pie, and we're just kind of ignoring the BUSD pair. Mm-hmm. So, and collectively, though, when you add them up, remember they're $71 million when you add those two pairs together.
The question, so $71 million in liquidity. Okay. Now, let me ask you something. Let me just go back a little bit to the futures. How is future right now? Because few people asked me to ask you actually yesterday when I
Yeah.
posted, asking for the future, like what's happening, why is changing from 0.5 to a little bit low per day. By the way, just mention a little bit briefly what is futures, that is part of the for the ecosystem for the everybody who is new, who never listened this one, so just to be aware.
Yeah. So with futures, this is the annuity style contract over here at Elephant Money. And for those who don't understand, it's very similar to the ROI dApps that you've seen of the past that have all died, failed, and gone away, right? Rest in peace, bankroll flow clones. You know, Bank Teller's the one who revolutionized that side of DeFi. Everyone jocked and copied it. And yet, you know, futures is the most sustainable one of them all. Now, what this is, though, is you can compound in this. You're going to lock up a total value here. So you'll see I have, you know, nearly 73K that I cannot just take out. You know, I interacted with the protocol. I locked up these funds and I am earning a daily percentage on those locked funds. Now, with this 840 available reward I have two choices. I could either claim this 840 out and it will come to me as $840 worth of BNB at today's price. Okay, this is a BNB in and out contract, no longer BUSD. But your total value is cash accounted for. This does not fluctuate with the price of BNB coin. But if I were to claim, okay, if I claim this out, my total value would drop by $840. Okay, so this stops the serial claiming in essence for sustainability. People need to think twice. Hey, do I really want to take out $840 or would I rather compound it and grow my total value? So the only way you can compound in this is not with a 50-cent gas fee that you can do multiple times a day like all those other protocols, but here you would have to deposit 200 fresh US dollars worth of BNB coin at today's price. And so if I put in 200, this 72.7 would turn to 72.9 because I added $200 to it, and it would roll in my 840 on top of that. Okay, so in order to compound, you deposit $200. Not everyone's going to do that every day. You really should just pick a schedule, whether you put in 200 once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, however that may go for your personal bag. Because this is a long-term contract. This isn't something that you're going to ROI on fast. There's not a Moon Boy token that's going to pump this up so you can get out within a year. This is something you need to plan for, 3-5 year strategy. Okay, so this is just set a schedule, stick with it. Now, as far as the updates go, you may have mentioned or heard me mention that it used to be BUSD, but now it's BNB, right? And on this yield tab, this BNB reserve used to say BUSD buffer pool. All right. So 90% of the funds that come in, if you put in 100 grand, 90 grand of that is going to instantly buy Elephant token and stuff it into Bertha. Okay. That other 10% of that, so 10 grand, is going to land in the BNB reserve, formerly known as the BUSD buffer pool. Okay. This reserve just handles like the small claim outs. Anything that's 1% or less of this dollar value right here that you see, 1% or less comes out of just the BNB reserve. So if somebody has $517 or less, it'll just come straight out of this. This handles small claims. Bertha doesn't need to touch anything, right? But if someone takes out more than $517, it'll just come directly out of Bertha. Okay, she will sell her elephant tokens, she will pay off, and she'll top up the BNB reserve by 10% the value claimed out. So that's pretty much the largest changes that have happened here. But now for sustainability, right? Because remember, Phil, we've had a redistribution event right here where Bertha's grown in token count, but there's less human whales that are in this system. So when it comes to those two ingredients I mentioned for supply shock, it takes a low LP count and a large Bertha. We've got a large Bertha, but we have a bloated LP count just because when people sell this, yeah, Bertha gets her cut, but largely those tokens ended up back in the marketplace right here. When people in the herd sell, it goes back into these LPs and makes this slice of the pie larger, if that makes sense. So what does that mean for futures? Why do I say that? Because it's all tied together. So right now, there's a new outflow of Bertha called sweep. Okay. So this 1.2 billion tokens you see in this available sweep, this is built off of I think it's a 1% APR coming out, an outflow from Bertha. It feeds this compartment on a daily basis. And when anybody hits this sweep button, this dollar amount, so right now it's only $75, but this dollar amount will sweep and go into the BNB reserve to top this off. So with Elephant token, whenever we supply shock again, when Elephant token's large in price, that means Bertha's dollar value is large in price, and that sweep amount on a daily basis is going to be large in price, hitting this, okay? So as far as the base yield changing, the static 0.5% had to go away for a number of reasons. One of them being regulatory scrutiny. We don't know what's going to happen when the keys are thrown away 5 years from now. You know, the SEC, they might be on one and might come after this for offering a static 0.5% a day, right? 0.5% a day, by the way, is 182% APR, right? Static. And we know how static goes with these ROI dApps. That's why they've all collapsed, right? So the recent update had to make this variable with a relationship based on the BNB reserve to the daily liabilities. If this number is significantly smaller, so 51.7 thousand is smaller than the 180,000 potential daily liability coming out of the system, the base yield will reflect that, okay? So everyone is earning off of this base yield. But with the recent version 8 of this, if you go into your future, you do get a personal bonus stacked on top of that base yield. And you get this bonus if you deposit fresh $200, right? So I did that last week or whenever it launched. And so you'll see my personal bonus of 65% stacked on top of the base yield 52%. Okay. So when you add those two up, my APR being earned right now is about 117%, right? And if you wanted to find out what that means on a daily basis, you're like, oh man, you know, it used to be 0.5. What is it now? Well, you could just take 117 divided by 365, and that's roughly 0.32% daily. Okay, that this is growing. However, there is a 45-day decay on this personal bonus. This started at 73. Now it's down to 65%. And that's because of a 45-day decay. That 73% over 45 days will go down to 0 on a personal bonus. So this does encourage more frequent, you know, weekly, every 2 week, once a month compounding. So you capture some of this bonus. And I think right now, if I were to subtract this out by the decay rate, but it's basically 0.0044, that comes out a day, right? Until my next $200 injection. So yeah, a lot of updates there, man. I know you're gonna have to rewatch this video.
And this was a little bit more than expected. Actually, good you're here because I didn't know this stuff, to be honest. I just didn't know, you know. And I know there are a lot of different, but we arrange an AMA, and I say, you know, before I'm asking you and shooting you with questions, best have the AMA and for everybody can listen, because most of us are involved. I think, including me, and lots of my members are involved into the elephant money ecosystem. Myself, you know, long time ago, and I'm very, very happy and pleased with this, you know. Okay, that's great. That's good. How is Bank Teller doing? How is the big boss doing?
He's good. I mean, he's under a high level of stress because he just recently moved to a new apartment, and he's you know, still trying to code all these things. You know, for him, time is of the essence to get everything consolidated, refined, right before this bull run really kicks off. And you know, even the future updates that happened right here, This was to get away from BUSD. It used to be 200 BUSD in to compound. Now it has to be BNB because we know BUSD is going to go away eventually, right? So he had to get that out of the way. And then for two, sustain Bertha. Everything at Elephant Money is about keeping a very healthy sized Bertha because she is one of the main ingredients to that supply shock that I mentioned. So collectively, the mission is clear. As a herd in the Each One Teach One initiative and the marketing that's coming out and the conventions that BT is going to be going to later this year, I think it's Bitcoin Nashville in June. But, we just play up the strengths, which is the elephant token, which, fun fact, Phil, 2 months from right now, elephant token turns 3 years old. And just think about that, Phil. 3 years of a DeFi protocol, this style of DeFi protocol, that's an eternity. And yet we still have deepened liquidity. We've still withstood, $15 million worth of sell pressure and still sitting as the number 3 holder of BNB on chain, still sitting with over $70 million in locked liquidity. There is a lot of strength and accolades to point out here at Elephant Money. And the mission is clear. You want to supply shock a third time, we got to drain those LPs, man. We get this 131 down below 100 trillion because Bertha's already in place, right? And this protocol, the price is going to sing, and we will continue to dominate as we have in the past, just like you've seen here. This is just for the last 18 months of price appreciation. Elephant token has dominated everything else in the world, and even with the sell pressure, we're still on top. Okay? This is easy. This is when we were outpacing the world in BNB. Right now, because the LPs are bloated, we're kind of following along with BNB. When BNB goes up 10%, we go up 10%. When it goes down 5%, we go down 5%, right? We want to get back into that position we've been in for 2 years where we've been outpacing BNB. Because remember, Phil, when you look at this zoomed out chart right here, man, when we went parabolic the first time, this was when BNB price was $430 per BNB coin. Then over the next year and a half, we did it again. We double topped on the USD value basically with a BNB coin that wasn't $430 anymore. It was like $200, remember? A 50% cheaper coin, yet we still double topped in value because this protocol captures BNB to be the number 3 holder of all BNB on chain. So this is when we were outpacing BNB, just clobbering BNB. So right now, yeah, we're hanging out with BNB, we're giving them some dap, we're handshaking, we're hanging out with BNB coin. But, before too long, we're going to be leapfrogging past BNB again. And in addition to the bull run coming out, and we know that Binance has a really bright future, the dark cloud that was hanging over its head was from the SEC. And the settlement that just happened, right? $4.3 billion. CZ had to step down, put his right-hand man in place. Binance has a really bright future now. So in the bull run, BNB is going to pump. BNB alone will pump Elephant to a brand new all-time high. BNB alone. But collectively, we want to drain those LPs. So we get that BNB pump to all-time high, and we outpace it, leapfrog it, and go multiple X's well above what BNB alone can do. So that's the clear mission right here.
This look nice and hot. Listen, man, BNB I hope doesn't go anywhere because the market will fucking crash. To be honest, I think at 4.2 billion, they just settled just like they're like, like a $500. It's like, what? Like 4 billion? The SEC just sucking the money from these exchanges, man. SEC suck. Sorry. I hate Gary. Gary is all right. Let's don't go that way. All right. So okay, that's fine. All right, man. I think you give us so much information in just in 25 minutes. It's been mind blowing. I will need to listen tomorrow in 0.7 speed so I can catch everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, once we get the elephant token LPs drained and we supply shock again for a third time in a third year in a row, this futures contract, this base yield, brother, this goes right back up to 182%. Okay. When Bertha is of a healthy dollar amount, she is going to be slaughtering and adding money to this BNB reserve such that you're still going to get this value capture. Remember, when Bertha grows in token count in yellow right here, she grows steadily in token count. Her dollar value is what's multiplied and hodled. Remember that. Even with the sell pressure, look at the value retention that's still happening within Bertha, okay? This is what you have to look forward to when this does another parabolic run, which it will, because Bertha still grows, right? She's still supply shocked. This is going to bring futures right back up to 0.5%.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, okay. I think, by the way, thank you for everybody who joined. Thank you so much. Please feel free to watch some of my videos. It's called More You Give, More You Receive. I'm doing some donations if you're new to this one. I'm doing a lot of donation in India, Africa, Philippines before. So go and watch and leave a comment and like, please. I highly appreciate. Okay, so okay. If anybody, do you want to add anything? Because if anybody have also a question, I know there's a lot to talk, but I don't want to, as we spoke from
Yeah,
the
I don't want to
beginning.
make it too long. Yeah, exactly.
But
So
we don't want to give too much information, there are like the trunk and all that stuff, but this is like the main stuff what we need to be updated and we need to know now, for this
exactly.
today, basically, if anybody want to get in, again, nothing here is financial advice, but I guess it's a great buying opportunity right now. It's a great price. If
It is.
anybody
It
has a
is.
question,
I'll just add something else real quick.
yeah,
So
go
like
ahead.
even when you look at futures and the personal bonus that you're getting, you're landing somewhere between this 0.25 and 0.3 range if you're doing monthly compounds, and you can still see what your APY is going to be with compounds or even just your base APR over here. It's still high double digits or triple digit yield that you're getting in an annuity, something you cannot find in TradFi. Okay. This protocol is not going anywhere after 3 years. It's not a doomsday. And just remember the central thesis, the whole idea behind Elephant is Bertha and the supply shock. So remember her value capture occurs whenever she is hodling that value. So just to show people, you could pause it and look at all the, Elephant pulled and BNB pulled, but when $200, this is just an example, when $200 hits this LP, right? It goes from a price per million of 0.278391, okay, to 0.278396. You see how the 91 turned into a 96 based on that little $200 that came in, and that value capture that spread out, that price appreciation spread out across Bertha's 198 trillion tokens. She turned that $200 into 1,200. Remember that. She still has a 6x multiplier on the value coming in. So if somebody puts in $200 in futures or NFT mints or whatever it may be, right? And someone claims out, I don't know, $600 out of Bertha, that, only drops this down by 600. She's 6x $200, and then anyone else can claim against this. It doesn't work the exact opposite way as it came in. This is whale economics. This is the same thing that happens with Elon Musk with his a bajillion shares of Tesla, right? When the Tesla stock price goes up $1, Elon Musk's bag jumps up like $1 billion, okay? That's whale economics, that's value capture, and that's exactly what Bertha does here. And as she gets bigger, and as we supply shock, this money multiplier of 6x also goes up. I'm talking 8x, 12x, 15x, and that's all evident by this chart right here. Bertha's token count on the left climbs, and then that means that this money multiplier on the right climbs. Okay, right now we're in this little 6x zone. What happens when we're 14x, 29x? Okay, that value hodled by Bertha, that's evident by this. It's all connected, guys. You have to look at the big picture here. But that value capture is what drives this entire protocol, and that's what's going to make futures ultimately go back to what everybody wants, the 182% APR, and it's going to make the APR on the NFTs sing as well. So that's all the updates I got. So if anyone has any questions, otherwise we could wrap up.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks, SK. Okay, guys, I guess we grow up, from like 2 people. We are now 16. Thank you so much. If anybody have questions, feel free to ask, or just, what's called, just ask in the chat, or maybe ask right here live.
Yep, going once.
All right,
Going twice.
Going twice, going 3 times.
That's it then. Nah, they're shy, man. I think that was a quick, good update for you, bruh.
No. Listen, that's great. I really like fast one, because it's that's what we need. Go straight to the point. Boom, done. I just booked, by the way, 3 crypto conference. I'm going now in one is in Romania here in Eastern Europe, and I'm going there in 4 weeks time in March, beginning of March, and then I'm going to Dubai in the biggest one in crypto 2000 in crypto 2049. It's called. Last year was the biggest one in Singapore. The same company organize them. So I just booked them. There are 2 in Dubai that week, so I booked both. Okay. I'm going there, and that's we expect now over 20,000 people. We're crazy.
Nice. Okay, well, good, man. If nobody has questions, just remember that Crypto Phil's link, referral link for Elephant Money is out there. The opportunity cost here that you want to look at this as is this is getting in really early. There's huge upside to this. If you take the 1 quadrillion token supply for Elephant Money and make it 21 million like Bitcoin, you're basically buying a $12.83 Bitcoin. Okay, that's how early you are, and that is how much upside there actually is, especially when we go viral and the adoption comes. But if you use his link, okay, you can buy the Elephant token right off the website. Okay, and instead of paying 10% fee collection, you'll only pay 8.5%, of which Phil will get 0.5% of that, and the other 8 goes to Bertha. So if you want to get in for a cheaper cost and benefit your favorite YouTuber, Crypto Phil, use his referral link. That's all I got.
Question before we wrap up. Thank you for that, by the way. Last question. I know the main guy mentioned, bank teller mentioned something for going in 2024 with marketing. Do you have anything for that? I know he mentioned something. We're going like wild in marketing, or like big in marketing, or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Any updates on that?
I don't have specifics, but I do know that when the BUSD reserve on futures was changed over to BNB, that money was going to go to Bertha anyway. So he minted basically $1.2 million worth of NFTs that he will be using for marketing. So you're going to see an uptick not only in YouTube and Medium contests, but also AMAs where the hosts are, these lounges, these hosts are getting NFTs, things of that nature, especially like outside people, not really like you and I, CryptoPhil, because we're kind of, in-house, we're invested, but just for outside people that aren't privy to Elephant Money. So not only will the NFTs ramp up, especially being given out at conventions and stuff, but he's setting up a lot of those performance funds for the future Elephant Money Foundation. And what that is the continuation of once everything is renounced, there is going to be an HQ for Elephant Money. It might even be in Dubai. I don't know where it's going to be, but there will be staffing. There will be things that performance fund's paying for to really continue the marketing effort in dollars, not just NFTs, but in dollars that are going to be going out to that. But right now, I know some of those funds are being earmarked for the convention that's happening in Nashville, Tennessee this June. I believe Elephant Money is going to have a booth there. Bank Teller's definitely going to be there. A number of the herd members are going to be there. And there's going to be a lot of word of mouth grassroots movements that's happening there. So yeah, those are some of the high level things that I know about. And yeah, some of those dollars are going to be used for paying marketers and other outside YouTubers. Some people don't accept NFTs, so still got to pay them in cash. So that cash goes to them too. I know that Darcy Donovan's been a high level influencer as well, and she gets a cut. Darcy's not going to be the very first one, the only one. There's going to be multiple people throughout 2024 coming. And I think he dropped some alpha, said something to the effect that he's going to announce a pretty detailed marketing plan here soon, because he's always talking with whale groups and whatnot. And I think, the herd can expect a juicy announcement from him in the coming months.
I'm happy with that announcement, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if this should blow up a lot. I think that's what we need, like outside people are the old school, the OG, like we call. And then basically we need a new people in this DeFi space, man. Simple as that. People are, burned too many times and all stuff, and they're scared. They're scared to entry. So now I think yes, we need that. Okay, good. I'm happy. If anybody have question, great.
Yep.
Feel free to ask, guys. Anybody say something?
No, sorry, that was me. I was just looking at the chart. When you zoom out, the overall trend is still one direction, guys. We're still on our upward trajectory. This is not an always up token, but we're going to be doing multiple cycles where we run up and then come down to a new floor. Run up, come down to a new floor. Okay, that's the cyclical nature of this. Unless we go super parabolic and then like Bertha's just gobbled up everything and then it just keeps going up. I don't know. It's going to be crazy. But the trend line is undeniable here, and this is going to be fantastic. And just know that value capture is what this offers over anything else out there. And just like Phil was saying, you're going to get a lot of people's attention as the bull run comes, and they're going to have, they're going to be scattered every which way. They're going to be chasing meme coins. But what I like to say about Elephant Money is this is trying to be the one-stop shop. Grandma out there doesn't want to be bouncing around chain to chain chasing random tokens. Okay. They want a one-stop shop with the NFTs, the annuity style futures, and the elephant token, where this has proven tokenomics. It's got 3 years of history that you can compare it to. And this is going to be a win and simplify DeFi for the masses, in my opinion.
SK, thank you so much for being here, mate. You're amazing as always. So much knowledge regarding this amazing ecosystem. Thanks to the bank teller again. He did a very nice donation, just to mention that when I was just before I go to India, to be honest, where I needed the most. And he said, "Oh man, you're going to India?" Yeah. And he sent me some money, for the kids. And I said, "Dude, just on freaking time." I was so like skim, and then just miracle happens. All right, thank you so much. Again, God bless everybody. Stay positive. My kids screaming down. I'm going because they'll kill each other.
All right, bro,
I'll
thank
wrap
you.
up and I'll post the video probably in the next 1-2 hours, so everybody can watch it.
Wonderful. Thank you, man, and safe travels, brother.
Guys, bye.